I couldn't believe what I was seeing in Battlefield 6's campaign, so much so the original script I had planned for this video went straight out the window the moment I started playing this absolute train wreck. The title says it all. Yes, you can actually finish Battlefield 6 without firing a single bullet, unless the game forces you to during some sad little scripted sequence to push the mission forward. Everything then is broken here, the AI is brain dead, the cutscenes are beyond laughable, and the so-called tactics feel like they were designed by someone who's never actually played a shooter in their life. I came in with high hopes, but honestly I wish they'd stuck to multiplayer, and trust me, I know how cursed that sounds after Battlefield 2042. So put the kettle on, grab a cuppa, and let's unpack this digital disaster in today's Battlefield 6 campaign review. Now, to be fair, Battlefield 6 is still a decent game overall if you're here for the multiplayer. I'm not touching that side just yet because it's only just dropped and you need a few solid days hammering through the maps and modes before you can judge it properly. So this review is focused squarely then on the campaign. And look, I don't care what the naysayers reckon, I've always loved a good campaign in my shooters, whether it's Call of Duty, Halo or Battlefield, because for me a campaign gives the engine room to flex and actually show a bit of soul. So when they scrapped it in Battlefield 2042, I felt like I got stiffed, and not in the way the mistress likes it. The campaign setup is dead simple here. You've got 9 missions clocking in at around 5 hours or so, and that right there is your first red flag. Whilst multiplayer clearly got all the love, this feels like the afterthought, the sad little side dish next to the steak, not the creamy mash or the chips that you actually want. No, this is the cold spinach that no one ever eats. Still, I could have lived with that if what we got here was at least a polished, well-rounded spectacle. But my pedigree chums, this one is an absolute shit show. It all started for me right in mission 1. Just a few minutes in, you're strolling through a quiet little camp and boom, all hell breaks loose. Suddenly you're up shit creek with no paddle, and for a brief moment I thought, yes, Battlefield, it's back. Explosions everywhere, thunderous sound design, gunfire perforating my eardrums, proper chaos the way it should be. Then comes the inevitable car chase where you have to escape the ambush. Cue my little grumbles about originality, but honestly, when the production value is this high, who bloody cares? Sometimes you just want a bit of dumb fun, and I was raring to go. So there I am, blasting away, choppers going down, barrels exploding, everything kicking off like bonfire night in Basra. But something kept nagging at me. I didn't actually feel like I was playing this, more like I'd wandered onto a film set where everyone else got the script except me. You see, bullets were flying my way, but it all felt weirdly staged, proper Truman Show vibes. So I thought, right, let's see what happens if I replay this mission and don't shoot a single bullet. And that, my friends, is where the whole bloody Battlefield circus collapses. It's true, you can plough through this whole section, survive all the chaos, and the same bloody things will still happen. The same helicopter will go down, the same tower will crumble, the same tanks explode right on cue, like the world's most predictable fireworks display. It's all completely on rails, and you might as well not even be there. Then once you hop out the car and go on foot, I just stood there staring at my squad mates thinking, surely I can't go full conscientious objector and pacify my way through World War III. Well, of course I thought I'd try, and yes, it's every bit as messy as what you're seeing on screen. Your AI squad mates just stand there in the open, trading bullets with some other poor sod who's also standing in the open. The difference? Your lot are invincible, juiced up on steroids, full of bravado and apparently rocking infinite ammo like they've just toggled on God mode. Push a bit further though and they start doing this weird little dance, running back and forth, firing into the distance but never moving forward. The map design is split into these invisible zones, and unless you cross that magic line, your brain dead teammates just refuse to advance. So that's the grand secret. It's not dynamic, it's not tactical, it's a game of glorified babysitting. All I had to do was take cover to stay alive, jog a few meters ahead to wake everyone up, and boom, mission complete, enemies getting pulverised every single time. I kept this little experiment going right through the campaign, only to find that there are just a few spots where you're forced to actually fire your gun, and these bits are the scripted sequences, moments that AI simply refuses to budge on. Case in point is my mate in a helicopter that we just crashed in. He's taking more bullets to the skull than what were fired in the whole of World War I. Proper sadist, this bloke. He just kept soaking up punishment and giving nothing back. And every now and then I'd poke my head out thinking, nah, sod that, our brave hero here, he can deal with it. But after a few minutes it hit me. The entire thing is again on rails. The game literally stops until you squeeze off a few rounds just to trigger the next cutscene. And it's like this the entire game. You go through every mission without shooting a single bullet until, boom, the script demands it. And when it does, it's usually some half-baked nonsense where the world just freezes around you, waiting for you to play your part. Now, just to be clear, I played on regular difficulty, which by the game's own description is meant to offer a balanced combat experience. Balance, they say. I've got no doubt you could finish the whole campaign this same way on the hardest difficulty too. Sure, you'd have to be a bit more cautious, but it's still the same old crap underneath. And before anyone pipes up with, well, Reggie, in real war your teammates would help you and fire their guns, it's not all on you. And yeah, granted, but this ain't real war, lads. It's a video game. You want a challenge, you want a thrill, a moment. You want to feel like bloody Rambo, not a spectator in someone else's action movie. Now, all this gameplay drivel could have been forgiven if the story had even a hint of depth, a few strong cutscenes, some decent acting, something to make you actually care. But no, it's the total opposite. You'll be perched on a cliff looking down at a sea of enemy armour, and the game tells you to call in an airstrike. I kid you not, Einstein's law of physics don't exist here. The jet will warp in from hyperspace, levelling everything in sight and vanish like nothing happened. And you think, alright, that had to be leading to some big moment. But no, it's a paper-thin plot about NATO being wet wipes and some knockoff army called PAX, who apparently have the firepower of a mini America. It's wildly stupid missions stitched together through lazy flashbacks and filler dialogue. At one point you're cruising through the water in an amphibious vehicle when command shouts at you, shoot the mines or we're all going to be brown bread. But here's the thing, the mines aren't even in your path. You can ignore the lot. No problem. There are no consequences here, no risk, no reward, just a hollow shooting gallery backed by a cast that sounds like they've been dragged straight out of a school nativity play. And I've got to circle back to the AI because it's genuinely tragic. There's just no challenge here. Beyond letting your teammates do all the heavy lifting, there's not a single ounce of brain power on display. They don't use cover properly, they don't flank, they just stand there soaking up bullets like a Sasha Grey roadshow. I've blasted shotguns around their heads just for them to stand there absolutely clueless. At one point I was told to defend my squad. Sod that, I thought. These lads are basically Superman. So I stood still while a 50 cal tore into them, and they didn't even flinch. And that's the thing, even if the devs fiddled with the sliders, made enemies hit harder, made your AI a bit less accurate, it wouldn't really matter. The core problem is that there is no military strategy here whatsoever. The whole thing would still suck major donkey balls either way. Who I really feel sorry for though are the artists, because visually Battlefield 6 is an absolute dream to look at. It's stunning. The particle effects, the destructible environments, the sheer chaos on screen, all running in an engine that doesn't miss a beat. It's genuinely impressive what the team has pulled off here, and I struggle to find fault with any of it. When those bullets do fly and those explosions are coming at you thick and fast, and yes, that's what she said, you are right there in the middle of hell. The lighting is superb. Shadows will dance dynamically across the screen, and the textures are so lifelike you can almost feel that grit, the sweaty faces, the freckles on their cheeks, the cracked walls and the gravel. It's all top tier stuff. I can just picture the art team at EA on their lunch break slagging off the team who handled the gameplay and story, because let's be honest, they have carried this game somewhere it doesn't deserve to be. Well, I say that, I also imagine the artists nipping down the pub and having a good old slagging session with the sound design team, because once again, the audio in Battlefield 6 is absolutely top tier. Well, bar one little thing. Now, if you've got headphones, do yourself a favour, crank that volume right up. Every ambient sound has its own texture here, boots thudding on the ground, the distant rumble of tank tracks, echoing gunfire off in the distance. It's all there, layered quite beautifully. Then the war kicks in. It's here that the bullets will whiz past, explosions will shake your skull, and it's pure chaos, but the good kind. In the few multiplayer matches that I did play, it honestly burst my eardrums. So all credit to that sound team. So what is the problem then? Well, it's in the voice work. You see, the script is already poorly written, but it sounds even worse. Over the top Yankee Doodle nonsense that does no favours for our cousins across the pond. It's cringeworthy, cartoonish at times, and I just wish one day we'll get a properly voice acted war game. We can only hope and dream. So do I recommend Battlefield 6? Well, weirdly, yeah, I do, but only because the multiplayer is dynamite. I haven't reviewed that here, obviously, but from the few matches I've played, it feels like Battlefield finally remembers what it's supposed to be. The campaign, though, holy shit, it is awful. If this is what World War III looks like, lads, then we've got nothing to worry about. We're going to be fast asleep watching it unfold. It's mind-boggling to me that a top-tier studio with an unlimited budget and one of gaming's biggest franchises could churn out something this crap. It's beyond belief that anyone at EA who watched the AI in action saw the on-rails missions and they actually said, yeah, this would do nicely. For those new to my scoring system or new to the channel, you see, a 4 out of 10, it means poor, but this goes lower because it's broken. The AI is broken, the scripting is broken, the experience itself is broken. So Battlefield 6's campaign earns the official broken rating, 2 out of 10. And before anyone jumps on my arsehole and accuses me of some hate clickbait bandwagon nonsense, trust me, I'm not. I can't wait to sink more hours into the multiplayer, and it will probably be one of my most played games of 2025. But the campaign, Jesus on a stick, you're going to find more life in my nan's grave. Until next time, my lovelies, love to you all. Reggie out.